Okay, my name is Suzanne Shope, and I have been painting since I can remember. This particular painting I started about 2 years ago, and what I had in mind was to have a base painting. It's almost like collecting or researching outside, so this was painted outside, looking for color, shape, the way nature moves. So what I did is I went out to Rock Creek and took the portable easel set up. My daughter was with me. It was great fun. Did this painting in 2 different sessions, and it was late. It's like early spring, late winter. And what I did is used it for information that I wanted to use and blow up later in some larger paintings. And so I was looking for passages that I wanted to almost like record like a photograph, but it's my way of looking at things. So it's like, how do I see this? Getting as much on as fast as possible. So quickly rendering things. On the one hand, it's a painting all by itself, painted outside, plein air, but it also was finding what I wanted to use later in some larger works. But I also think it's sort of this condensed energy. And when I get this much going on in a painting where the entire surface is pretty well activated, which I'm seeing it's very activated. This reminds me of my personality until I crash at about 9 o'clock at night. Everything's activated, and trying to balance the colors actively too. So always placing things next to each other. So there's warms and cools, and trying definitely getting shapes that end but your eye follows them. So trying to create this balance throughout the piece, even though it's an active surface. It's a study, but I don't think I would have taken it any further had I had more time. So it functions really well on its own. I think I completed this statement that I wanted to make. And when I think about the other paintings, the big ones that happened, it was more like I'd take that part right there with that deep, deep blue. And so I was gathering all that. And hopefully this falls together just as a composition in itself. I'd say when I go outside to paint, I put more in it than the studio paintings. And as far as content goes, I used to get into this sort of sentimental talk about the grasses and and like being close to the earth and all that. And I just don't even want to say that. It's who I am. It's what I think is important. I think it has conceptual aspects just in the forms I'm using, the shape, the composition. And so within my process, I like to work with maybe playing around with whether or not the viewer sees it as paint or whether we're really looking at like an illusion of something. And people gravitate towards things they can make some sort of sense of, like, oh, that's that creek up there, and but when you look at it, just like any painting that I've ever seen, like even if you take this little spot right here, if you zoomed in on that right there, this is miraculously beautiful because you have this lavender with the cream, and every little inch, just like in nature, has this infinite interest. I think mixing the colors of the dried grass, like the harvesty colors, um, that in itself is so interesting and so challenging for me to I can't even begin to describe it. It's like doing a puzzle over and over again, and unlocking, you know but it always has this secret way that it ends out that next time. The puzzle is always different every single time, so it's never done. So when I was doing this particular painting, I think I had in mind, oh, I have to grab that and take it home, and the only way I could do it, like right there, is just get as much down as possible, as fast as possible. when I work in studio paintings, I have to get into a completely different mode. It's almost like writing again for me. If I'm doing studio paintings, they don't turn out like this. They have a much more abstract quality, not labored as much as just I get to make up a whole lot more. So there's some, I think there's actually more freedom in studio work, although I want to get my inspiration from these studies for this kind of collecting of images from the natural world and bring them in, because the only thing here in this studio is a bunch of books. It's a great form of meditation. I think going outside and painting. This painting is just like joy. You don't think about anything else. You're out there. Um, it's what they call like a flow moment. You're in the entire feeling of it. In fact, it's fun for me to look at because it brings back all that.
Tell me what that's called. What's the name of this one?
Which one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I?
Go ahead. Look at the back.
Here she is.